So today, Caitlin Clark released a water bottle. Yes, I mean this, a Gatorade water bottle. And you might be saying, okay, why am I talking about a Gatorade water bottle? Have you lost your damn mind, Mick? Because it just sums up all of this. It sums up everything that's going on. And we are now in a situation where this Gatorade water bottle was limited to 2,200.
A Gatorade water bottle just crashed a major corporation's website. Not sneakers, not a limited edition jersey, a water bottle. And before you think this is just another quirky internet moment, understand this. What happened today with Caitlin Clark's signature bottle reveals something far bigger about where basketball culture is heading right now. The bottle was limited to 2,200 units. It sold out in seconds. But here's the part that should make every marketing executive in sports pay attention. Gatorade's website couldn't handle the traffic. This is Gatorade, a company owned by PepsiCo, worth billions, with infrastructure built to handle massive product launches. And a water bottle brought their servers to their knees.
Like, virtual queue for a bottle of Gatorade. Like, if you guys don't know, like, it was literally like, it had a crash website. They literally had it like it was Nike sneakers. I didn't try to go get it, obviously. But I was looking through some of these things where it was like, the website, it had this and it scrolled down, it was like sold out. They literally made it almost like Nike sneakers. Like, I've never seen anything like that before. A damn water bottle. A damn water bottle crashed the fucking site. Like, it's gonna sell out in seconds.
That comparison to Nike sneaker drops isn't hyperbole. The Gatorade site implemented a virtual queue system identical to what Nike uses for limited Jordan releases. Scroll down, see the product, watch it say sold out before you can even click. That's the experience thousands of people had trying to buy a $20 water bottle with Caitlin Clark's name on it. And this comes right before what could be Nike's biggest basketball shoe launch of the year. Not LeBron's latest signature, not a retro Jordan, Caitlin Clark's first signature shoe. Industry analysts are already predicting the first batch will be harder to get than the initial Wilson basketballs that bore her name, which were impossible to find for months after launch.
We have genuinely got a situation where we know once that shoe releases, holy shit. Once that shoe releases, I'm genuinely like, it's gonna be Nike's biggest launch of the year. Like, it is. It just is. Like, even you got the likes of Nick Wright and stuff saying, they were like, well, nobody under the age of 35 in basketball is more popular than Caitlin Clark. And he's right. He's absolutely right. Like, I don't think anyone's really going to question that one.
Nick Wright said it on national television. Nobody under 35 in basketball is more popular than Caitlin Clark. And he's right. Not Victor Wembanyama, not Luka Doncic, not Anthony Edwards, who some people keep trying to position as the next face of basketball. The data doesn't support that narrative. Yes, globally, Wembanyama and Luka have massive international followings, but we're talking about the United States specifically. And in America, Caitlin Clark's cultural penetration is on a different level. When was the last time Anthony Edwards merchandise crashed a website? When did Wembanyama's signature product require a virtual queue to purchase? The comparison that keeps coming up is Taylor Swift. And it's not just about popularity, it's about the type of fan base. Caitlin Clark has cultivated a following that behaves like early 2010s content creator fans, before the crypto scams and the disillusionment. These are people who will buy the same product 17 times if she releases 17 versions. That's Taylor Swift territory. That's a level of fan devotion that transcends sports.
But in the United States specifically, because let's be real. By the way, the face of the NBA can absolutely be a non-American. Just like the face of basketball doesn't even have to be an NBA player at this stage. Because if you insist on it being an American, like, she is infinitely more popular than Anthony Edwards and more well-known than Anthony Edwards. Like, and people are saying Anthony Edwards should be the face of basketball. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, it's not even like a close one. It's not even a close one. But
here's what makes this particularly fascinating. Caitlin Clark is extremely selective about what she endorses. She could put her name on anything right now, and it would sell anything. But she hasn't flooded the market with products. She's not endorsing every brand that comes knocking with a check. And that's strategic brilliance. Because if she endorsed a subpar product, If she attached her name to something that disappointed her fans, it could damage the trust that makes her merchandise so valuable in the first place. She's operating like a celebrity who understands that her brand equity is finite and precious. Rush it, dilute it, and you lose the magic. Think about the economic context here. We're in a cost of living crisis. People aren't looking to spend excess money on non-essentials. The actual cost of surviving has gone up dramatically, even if wages haven't dropped proportionally. Discretionary spending is down across most consumer categories. And yet, in this economic environment, thousands of people tried to buy a $20 water bottle in the middle of a weekday. They knew it would sell out. They knew the odds were against them. They showed up anyway and overwhelmed Gatorade servers.
The only comparison I can give is like, she is a celebrity that has seemingly got a hardcore fan base with the mentality of like early 2010s content creators. Like when they could, before the crypto scamming and people realized what was going on, they could literally shut anything on their fans. Like Taylor Swift-esque, where you can record, like Caitlin Clark could, I can guarantee you Caitlin Clark could release the same CD 17 different times and people buy it 17 times. Only Taylor Swift can do that. Only Taylor Swift has the power to do that in entertainment right now. So yeah, look, it is.
The mania phase might be over. The peak of Caitlin Clark fever, when every single thing she did dominated sports media for days, has cooled somewhat. But here's what today proves. She doesn't need the mania to move products. She doesn't need to be the lead story on every sports show every single day. Her baseline level of influence is high enough to crash corporate websites with a water bottle. That's sustainable star power. That's the difference between a flash in the pan and someone who's built something lasting. The hype cycle moves on. The news cycle finds new stories, but the core fan base remains engaged and ready to support her commercially. And this is all happening while the WNBA's future remains uncertain. The collective bargaining agreement situation is unresolved. There's a real possibility, however small, that the 2025 season could be delayed. Some people think if the season doesn't happen, if the players in league can't agree on a financial structure, the WNBA as we know it might be done.
Most people have come to that, like when you're reading it, most people are of the opinion where it's like, the only reason the season doesn't happen is because of the financial structure of the league. And if this season doesn't happen because of the financial structure of the league and they won't sign a CBA, then is there, like, we have to talk about, like, is there even a point of there being a WNBA? It's like, if the players aren't going to get what they want, should they just leave and try to start something new? Which is what's going to happen if there's not going to be a league, to be honest, or a season. But yeah, look, all in all, I do feel like
February 19th is the target date most people are watching. If there's no CBA agreement by then, if there's no indication the season will start on time, we're looking at a delay. And if the season doesn't happen because the league and players can't agree on revenue sharing and financial structure, then you have to ask the existential question, what's the point? If the financial model is so broken that they can't even agree to play games, then maybe the structure itself needs to be completely reimagined. Some players have already started talking about alternative leagues, about starting something new outside the WNBA framework. That's not idle speculation anymore, that's a real contingency plan. But even in that uncertainty, even with the league's future unclear, Caitlin Clark's commercial value remains untouchable. That's the remarkable part. Her marketability isn't dependent on the WNBA existing in its current form. She's transcended the league in terms of cultural relevance.
There doesn't need to be a mania for Caitlin Clark to still literally go and crash a damn website. So anyway, I'll see you guys.
So what does a crashed website for a water bottle tell us about basketball in 2025? It tells us the traditional markers of popularity don't apply anymore. Television ratings matter, but they're not the only metric. Social media engagement matters, but it's not the full picture. The real test is commercial behavior. What will people actually spend money on? And right now, people will spend money on anything Caitlin Clark attaches her name to, even in an economic climate where discretionary spending is down across the board. That's power. That's influence. That's the kind of cultural penetration that marketing executives dream about. The shoe launch is going to be chaos. Absolute chaos. If a water bottle crashes Gatorade's website, imagine what happens when Nike releases her first signature shoe. The infrastructure better be ready, because based on what we saw today, the demand is going to be unprecedented for a basketball product. This isn't hype anymore. This isn't media narrative. This is concrete, measurable commercial behavior. Thousands of people showed up to buy a water bottle in the middle of the day, knowing they probably wouldn't get it, and they crashed a major corporation's website, trying. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. it's quantifiable. And it's not going away anytime soon, regardless of what happens with the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement or the 2025 season. She's built something that exists independent of the league structure. And that might be the most important development in women's basketball in the last decade. The question now isn't whether she's popular. We know she is. The question is, how do brands prepare for product launches when the demand is this intense? How do you build infrastructure that can handle this level of consumer interest? Because based on what happened today, nobody's ready for it yet. Not even Gatorade.